Hey, welcome to our Sunday preview for this 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And we have another reading from chapter 22 of St. Matthew's Gospel, where the theme the last couple of weeks seems to be people trying to trip Jesus up and catch him. Lots of gotcha questions to Jesus. And last week it was about the paying taxes to Caesar. And this week they've got another one for him. It says, "When the Pharisees heard that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, 'Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?' He said to him, 'You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments." The Gospel of the Lord. So once again, they're trying to catch Jesus and get him to say something controversial, but he goes back to the Old Testament. And this quote is from in chapter 6 of Deuteronomy, where after the 10 commandments are given, there's this kind of a summary of all the commandments. First, to love your Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. So Jesus roots himself really in the old law, and that's the meaning of the commandments and all the laws, all the moral rules that we have, and really have the focus of those two things, two great commandments. And it can seem like a nice little neat summary, but did you ever stop and reflect how hard it is to love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength? It means putting God at the center of your life and not letting anything else compete with God, for your heart. Everything else is a creature. Everything else is passing away. Even the best people, even the ones we love the most, we got to love God even more than them. That's a hard thing for us to do. I think if most people, if you ask them, they would say, well, what do you love most in life? They would say, oh, my spouse, my family, my grandkids. Some people even say their dog. And maybe very few people would say, yeah, I love God over all of that. But that's what we have to get to. We have to purify our love so we can love God first and then love everyone else in God and love them the way God wants us to love them. That's a lot of work.